Some good news, Republican Glenn Youngkin won the gubernatorial race in Virginia last night, and when that outcome started to become clear, the usual confident and cool fake news anchors started to crack.
Just about everywhere, Terry McAuliffe is underperforming Joe Biden. So you say, okay, that's not fair. That's a presidential year. Is he underperforming Ralph Northam? I began the night saying he can. Ralph Northam won by 8-9 points.
The incumbent Democratic governor.
The incumbent governor. So Terry McAuliffe can underperform him as long as he doesn't underperform him by a ton. This is your live vote right now. Where are there counties where McAuliffe is underperforming Northam by more than 10 points?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Glenn Youngkin's Democrat opponent, Terry McAuliffe, ran on the ludicrous platform that parents shouldn't have any say in what's being taught to their kids in school.
I don't think parents should be telling schools what they should teach. And I'm not going to let parents come into schools and actually take books out and make their own decisions.
He also complained that there were too many white teachers teaching the kids in Virginia.
And I promise you, we've got to diversify our teacher base here in Virginia. 50% of the students at Virginia schools, K-12, 50% are students of color, and yet 80% of the teachers are white. We all know what we have to do in a school to make everybody feel comfortable in school. So let's diversify.
Diversity is a code word for less white people. Never forget that. Well, to be perfectly clear, it's a code word for less straight white people. Parents finally woke up and drew the line after learning that the public school system had started to indoctrinate the children that white people are inherently bad and the cause of all problems in America. And so, of course, Joy Reid, that angry host over at MSNBC, thinks that they're racist.
And the exit poll showed that which was interesting, that the coronavirus or that the virus was a very
low
not importance to many of the voters
which
there.
Was fascinating.
It was education,
right,
which is code for white parents don't like the idea of teaching about race.
No, Joy, parents just don't want their children indoctrinated by Marxists with critical race theory, which is really a sanitized term for anti-white racism.
White voters do have anxiety about a changing America, right? That it is blacker, it is browner. People who didn't always have a say in what their children should read are now having a say. I mean,
that's interesting because the same people who are trying to force kids to have to take a black queer history class are the same ones who are getting Amazon to ban certain books that you're not supposed to even talk about. Books like MSNBC took the gubernatorial race in Virginia harder than CNN. Here's fake Republican Nicole Wallace.
So I think that the real ominous thing is that critical race theory, which isn't real, turned the suburbs 15 points to the Trump insurrection endorsed Republican. What do Democrats do about that?
Well, for starters, you could stop blaming white people for all the problems in other people's lives. This Republican victory is quite significant because just 1 year ago, Joe Biden supposedly won the state of Virginia, and they brought out all the big guns, including Obama, to come and campaign for Terry McAuliffe, and it didn't work. Perhaps the pendulum is finally starting to swing back the other direction. Maybe we could call it the woke-lash. Tell us, Camelface, what significance does this outcome have for the midterms next year and the next presidential election?
You see, what happens in Virginia will in large part determine what happens in 2022, 2024, and on.
That's right, white people are finally tired of being called racist for simply existing. And anybody, regardless of what race they are, if they have half a brain, are tired of the Marxists undermining our culture and trying to pervert everything that's normal and good. Van Jones, who occasionally admits the truth, albeit usually when he's talking to an undercover Project Veritas journalist and doesn't realize that he's on tape, surprisingly did so on air last night.
Crime, inflation, and concerns about our kids, Democrats got to have better answers next year than we had this year. I think that the Democrats are coming across in ways that we don't recognize, that are annoying and offensive and seem out of touch in ways that I don't think show up in our feeds when we're looking at our kind of echo chamber. And I think that this is a message here.
I never thought I would agree with Van Jones, but they certainly are annoying, to put it lightly. And the evening wouldn't have been complete without a certain something being shouted out loud. And of course it happened at the Glenn Youngkin headquarters when the crowd was waiting for his victory speech.
Let's go, Brandon! Let's go, Brandon! Let's go, Brandon!
That's right, and get your Let's Go Brandon shirt from my online store at markdice.com, or click the link in the description below, or get your embroidered Let's Go Brandon beanie, or both. Or if that's not your style, get an Arrest Dr. Fauci shirt or any of my awesome designs, all available in a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and all my different colors as well. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.